Quickly moving on here to our speaker, we have Inmaculada Alarcón Torres, and she's not a new face to GSDC. We have had her in our panel for a long time, and we are so happy that you could join us again. So Inma is a telecommunications engineer, CTO, and task product owner at CIPSA. She is an expert in quality assurance specialized in test automation. Inma is currently working with CIPSA clients as IT excellence consultant to develop and introduce strategy modules that innovate and improve efficiency across the organizations in terms of SW deliver, SW quality, and test automation. So we're so happy that you can join us again, Imna. Just before we give you the time, just an information for the participants that we will have a 15-minute Q&A with the speaker. So the questions will be taken on the chat box. So I do request everyone to save your questions until then. And yes, I won't take any more of your time now, Inma. Please, if you're ready, you can go ahead. And Lorena can start sharing your screen as well.
Thanks a lot, Setolu, for your introduction. It was even summarizing perfectly what I'm doing and what I do. And my intention today is to share with you and with all the audience the experience that we have by implementing quality in the different organizations. As Setolu was indicating, I'm CTO of the CIPSA company, and also I'm a TAST product owner. TAST is a test automation system tool that we have developed in order to introduce the automation within the different organizations. And based on this experience, first starting, let's say, improving in the way of doing testing, moving to the automation, and also moving to the digitalization of the different organizations, we are getting experience and realizing how important is quality, software quality, into the organizations. And what we want to do here and what we do today is to share our experience, introducing real cases, in order that you can see where we are moving with the quality and how important it is into the current organizations in this digital era that we are living. No? So just moving into the presentation, I would like to reinforce the importance of quality in this digital era that we are living. The point is that what we can see is that at the moment, the software is the basis for the business development. So in the past, let's say the software was applied only for specific sections inside the organizations. But the reality is that now the organizations need the software, need the applications in order to sell and generate profit into and to arrive to the customers and provide services to the customers. Because with the digitalization, especially even after the pandemic we had, the business becomes more and more digital. So every company is at the moment selling their services using software. So if the software is the key for an organization, because of let's say the sellings and the profit of the company relies on that, how important is quality then? The software quality. So the level of the software is needed, the level of software quality is important for the organization. Because in the end, the customer, every customer from every service provided by any organization, it's requesting quality. Because when they buy a service, they use a service, they want quality. And the software is there, no, for providing that. So therefore, software quality is really an important or a key topic into the organization nowadays. And now, it becomes the point, no? How to implement the software quality in the organizations. So at the moment, this is the key question that we see in the market, that many organizations doesn't know how to implement the quality. And the truth is that they are realizing they have the need of implementing the quality within their organizations. So then we would like to bring into the presentation the approach that we are following, or what we are facing into the different experience that we are having within our customers in CIPSA. Yeah? So, because at the end we are working in all the industries. So we are working for European companies, for automotive companies, for the Spanish government. We are working also for banks and also for insurance companies. So the need of quality is distributed in all the industries, no? And it's also distributed in high big companies, medium companies, or small companies. We have different type of customers, and all of them have the same problem. No? How should I implement the quality or the software quality into my organization? Because the benefit of my organization depends on how good we are presenting our services, digital services, to our customers. No? And the answer, or let's say the model that we apply, it's clear. So in the end, the quality in the organizations should be implemented top-down. So the first person that need to see the needs of the software quality into the organization is the CIO. So the top level. The top level need to understand that the quality is required, because based on that, the quality area that is built as a team that can support the decisions for the top level of the company can really distribute the quality through the organization from top to down. In which way? Because of if the quality team is advising the top level, this advice are going to be taken and are going to be moving down to each single person belonging into the organization. To start to do the implementation of the quality down top, it's difficult. It's difficult because we don't have, let's say, as a quality area team, the empowerment enough in order to move the complete every single employee into an organization. But if we come from top to down, then this is possible to do. And then, considering this as an initial view, let's go and let's move further in the presentation to show how, which is the concept change that at the moment the organizations, even the heads and the CIO and CTOs of the companies are realizing. This is based on the experience that we see. So in the past, the quality was not so important, but because let's say I'm working in quality since I left the university, so I can really see the difference about the importance of quality within the organizations. And in the past, quality was always, let's say, the quality team was always a team that was usually implemented in big companies mainly. But this was not really a key department into the organization. But nowadays, the reality is that the big companies are considering the quality team as a key team for making decisions. And even organizations that doesn't have these quality teams are looking for understanding how to implement that, because they see they need that. And when the different customers are approaching us about what should I do with the quality, they are telling us the reality that they have, no? And they say, okay, I have to handle software project to implement a solution, software solution that is not always working, but and I need that this is working. And then they say, but my standard, let's say, department that is doing the project management of the projects is not covering. Yeah, they are not able to really achieve quality. They can manage, but they are not able to achieve quality. So what is the key here? And then I think to let them know the importance of the quality, and that we need to move from this project management to a more quality view of the project. I usually present this general picture, indicating that in the end, the software project or the programs are always measured by three main pillars. We have the scope, which is the functionality that we want to cover. We need to consider also the time that is needed in order to implement the solution and provide the solution to the end customer. And additionally, we need to consider the cost. And this is the standard basic pillars for project management. But what we need to consider is that not only these three pillars are now important, it's the intersection of all of them, the one that are bringing us how much quality we are providing to our end customer. Why we say the middle of the picture is the quality? Because you can provide many scope, many functionality in the software, in the application. But what happens if you want to deploy or want to provide this amount of functionality without time? Quality is going to fail, because without time to implement the correct functionality, to understand the customers, what are their needs, what are really the functions that they like, and without the needed time to execute the testing activities and so on, you are not going to get that. Or even the cost. What happens if you reduce to the minimum the cost of the project? The quality is going to suffer also. So then, in order to be efficient in a company, the quality team is not only doing project management, but is checking which is the efficient way, considering the three elements, to ensure as much as quality as possible. Because considering quality as a key element for delivery, yeah, we are going to find the balance. And the current situation is that the companies doesn't know how to find the balance. Therefore, they need support from quality teams, specialists that have special skills. And you probably you are going to be with me when we say that people that is living within the quality are living the quality. So they are special skills that are really thinking in quality when they see any change, into the project, no? How these changes, or how this reduction of costs, the reduction of these decisions that are taken within the project are impacting quality. And therefore, it's key and important that the current organizations are moving from the PMO, so project management offices, where there is a team just managing projects based on the 3 variables, scope, time, and cost, to the quality management office. That means that the management of the projects is done not only considering the 3 variables, but also looking the quality as the efficient quality when we deliver. And to implement that, this quality management office, it's is built with specialists in quality. So they are experts in quality implementation. They know about testing. They know about the impacts when they are able to see the solution that is going to be provided. They are self-critical. They are, it's an efficient team because it's looking always for the quality, and the point is that the experience, or probably you are with me about this, the experience is that the quality teams, the testing teams are always looking for the maximizing the time to ensure quality, because the history was making us to be like the last part of the chain, no? In the past, by following waterfall methodologies, the design of the solution was done, then becomes the development. The development was always delay, and then arrives testing. And testing do whatever they want because they don't have time, and because they want to deliver the solution already to production. So in the end, the people that is especially in quality, they know how to make efficient time, and they know how to make efficient the different efforts and the different resources that are within the organizations in order to achieve the quality. Additionally, we are moving into a digital area where everything is moving really fast, and the agility of the team need to be clear and need to be spread within the organization. Therefore, this QMO should be also an agile team. An agile team means it's able to be adapted to use techniques and to use solutions to provide fast feedback to the different teams within the organization. And additionally, this team, this QMO, is going to analyze end-to-end the organizations based on tools that can provide us real evidences about how the quality is moving into the organization. The quality engineers also are able to transmit the overview to the decision makers, no? Because in the end, the top management of an organization need to take decisions in terms of scope, time, and cost. Then, if the quality engineer is there for providing this view about which are the impacts and which is the best solution, they are going to be able to take more sustainable solutions because they are going to consider the quality. And in the past, probably they were not thinking on that, but when the quality, the QMO team is providing this view to them, they are going to take decisions based on quality instead of only in project management pilots. Okay. So then, thinking in this idea or in this concept, no, that we need to introduce into the organizations a way of managing based on quality and not only in the project skill itself. I would like to bring, this is, let's say, our experience, and I would like to share the model that we are implementing in our customers in terms of this type of QMO, okay? The model that we are implementing is based in 3 main concepts. The first one is to have a team that is is central for the complete organizations, and they are specialists in quality. They have quality skills, like we were mentioning before. No? They are self-critical. They are able to transfer the quality impacts and to advise the top level management. Okay, and they also are able to understand the process of the project life cycle. They are involved in the testing activities. They know about that. No, this is a central team competency center in quality, and this team should also consider to use end-to-end tools, an end-to-end tool framework. What we mean with that? In order to provide this clarity to the top management for decisions, it is needed really to have the different projects that are running into the organization, let's say, under control. So to understand which is the status of the project, in which phase they are, where are they facing the problems, where are they facing the risk, no? In the past, the management of this type of projects was done based on PowerPoints. So it was based on the feeling of the project responsibles. But these are just feelings, and the feelings are not quality. The quality becomes based on the reality. And the way we have to measure the quality is based on the activities that are registering into the tools. So now, from the beginning till the end, we have tools that are supporting us to monitor or to track, let's say, the requirements, the scope of the projects, to understand which are the activities done by the different teams, the development teams, which are the different deliveries or releases of the software, and which is the quality of these releases in terms of how good or bad was the release, in how many errors they have. Everything, all these things are registered within tools. So this QMO area, it's going to have a complete overview about all the different tools that are measuring the projects. And this is making the possibility that the QA team can really analyze the quality of the project and present the truth and the reality, not based in feelings from the project, but really based on what the teams into the organization are really registering. It can be that sounds a bit complicated, but the truth is that nowadays, all the companies are having tools that are supporting the activities for every single employee of the company. Because now, even with the pandemic and with the digitalization, we are working remote, we are doing teleworking. So most of every single employee is using, for example, a ticketing tool to register which are the tasks that they have to do for this sprint or for this period of time. So out of these tools, it's possible that the quality team can really analyze which is the situation of the company. And finally, we have a third level that is really important for the quality team, which is to understand and involve the end users of the organization, the company, or the enterprise. Because by understanding the end customer, and this quality team is going to be able to really understand which are the needs in terms of quality, and is going to be able to measure. So this quality team should never forget the end user of the organization, because he is going to provide the key and the real value that need to be considered because this for them to buy the services of the organization and the company. So that's this model is what we are let's say, from our company, implementing into the different organizations. And I would say this is quite welcome by the organization where we are implementing, because they realize that in the end is supporting them. We are this quality team is providing real data. It's not based on feelings and guess, and is always keeping as the most important, the most focused, the needs of the end users, no? That in the end are the customers buying the services and the different products provided by the organization and the company. So then, moving further, this I will say is a theoretical model or theoretical concept, but we are implementing that in, as I said, and as I mentioned before, in different industries, different customers, different type of organizations, high, medium, and low volume. And I would like to bring a simple real case as an exercise to share here with you. Yeah, in order to understand why this quality team or this movement from PMO to QMO, it's so important nowadays. No, so let's say we take one of our customers, which is an Spanish government ministry, where we are implementing the quality along the complete digitalization of the project. And what they want to do, second, and good with the time, yes. What they want to do is, okay, they have many projects to rise, and as always, they don't have enough budget, no? So they are looking for a solution to try to provide to the end customers a functionality considering the less money. So then they say, okay, for this specific area, what we can do is to reuse an application that is already in production and being used by a different government ministry. So we are going to use the same because they are doing the same things, it's the same scope. We are just going to reuse the tool. And then we don't need to pay our provider to develop again this solution, because the other ministry can provide us with this solution. And they say, yeah, that's clear. So we can reduce a lot of time, because we don't have to develop, we don't have to test, we don't have to do, we just need to implement the solution, and we reduce cost, because as in the other time, I don't need to develop anything, I don't need to test, and so on. But then this customer with this idea came to the quality team and then asked us to analyze if this is like that, no? Is this like that? And then the quality team start to think about that, no? Which are the impacts? Is really true that we are reducing the cost and the time, and we can deliver the same functionality? Is the functionality really the functionality that in this case, this ministry needs, or is not completely, no? So the team start to analyze, and then thinking on that, we do one exercise in order to visualize the impacts based in a canvas. This testing model canvas that we use or develop was presented in the previous GSDC that I was introducing, and is considered as a part of the spherical quality concept. That is, let's say, a model that we have defined in order to try to make it simple and to make easy to the organizations to understand the quality, and which are the main elements that need to be considered. And this spherical quality consists in 3 axes, and one of them is this axis of that we call axis eye. And what we do is to try to make like a Kanban that we try to summarize really which are the impacts in terms of the testing activities that are required into the software. So then with this, take all the time for that, but and just go to the specific case. But the idea, just explaining the idea, is to visualize the end-to-end, since the solution is analyzed, considering which are the elements that we will need in terms of environment and data for testing, which are the type of testing that we need to execute and consider, how it's required to do the acceptance of this, and also how the implementation or the rollout of the solution is going to be delivered, which is the strategy to be used. No? And also, in this view, what we are doing and analyzing is which type of framework or environment we need in terms of tools, processes, and reporting for making into the organization and the understanding of what's going on into this project, or into that implementation. Additionally, that in the low part, we can see and consider and visualize which is the teams, or which are the teams that are going to be involved on that process. No? So then by taking this Kanban, we do like a session, brainstorming session, or a design thinking that is helping us to analyze this real case situation. No? So we have the case that our ministry want to reuse one application, and they are thinking that by taking the application and just implementing in production, everything is done. No? And now quality view comes and start to think, okay, let's then think really if this is a good way to deploy quality to our end customers. The first thing that we do then is, okay, we reuse the application. Who knows what really the application is doing? Are we going to put in production without knowing what the system is doing? Then our customer says, no, at least we need to check that the application is working for us and which is the main functionality. So then we are moving them, okay, we need to test the application first before we do that. And for testing that, we need one environment. At least we need a pre-production environment, an environment where we have installed this solution in order that we can test. And for testing, we will need to provide data and prepare data. So we need to review which is the type of data that we need to generate, no? And also, we need to understand if there is the testing activities that were already done by the other ministry in order to check if these were complete, which were the main issues identified, if there is still any open issue. So it is needed to, let's say, dedicate some effort in communicating with the other partner in order to receive from them, which is the testing activities done for this project and which are the result of them. And based on this analysis, then let's say our organization can consider which are the additional tests that they want to do, and also from the functional side, and also if it is needed for example, for the performance side, as we are going to increase or introduce additional customers in order to validate that the solution is working. Additionally to these testing activities, well, we need to do who is going to do the testing activities, because as mentioned before, the customer thinks, okay, I'm not going to spend money. Yeah, the point is that you need to look into the organization, someone that is able to do this testing. And for that case, will be good to organize a team that is a mix between the quality team and also real business users or end users that can that are going to really use the tool or the application. So once we are implementing the testing activities, it is also needed to think on how we are going to do the implementation. Are we going to do at once? All the offices that need to use this application are going to be starting at the beginning, or we want to, let's say, start with an office as a pilot during 1 month, and then to roll out to the rest of the offices progressively, because then that means that the implementation will require more time, no? And this is saved in terms of quality, is saving the possibility to introduce errors, no? Because with the first pilot, you will identify issues, you will also identify which is the impact into the end customers and the end users of the application. And based on that, yeah, you can reinforce and adjust the capabilities of the application, considering really the needs for your organization. Additionally to that, the complete process need to be monitored, no? And need to be, as I mentioned before, registered in order to take decisions about the different steps, no? So, for example, in that case, we were using Confluence as a tool for documenting what the application is doing. We are using Jira and X-Ray to monitor the activities for testing and the test execution and the bug detection, no? We are using TAST for running some specific regressions, which are including the functionality that we have selected as the key functionality to validate. And even we are using JetMeta in that case for running the system test, so the new dimension to run the performance, considering that. So in the end, when the QMO team is receiving this idea from the customer that they want to reuse one application and implement into for our end customers, and this is making us making them to reduce time and reduce cost, is not so like that, no? In the end, it's clear that you reduce some time and some effort, but you are advising which is the right way to follow in order to ensure the implementation of the solution with quality and avoid an end user reaction against the application and the solution, because you are going to make it progressively and previously tested, understanding what you are delivering to the end customer. So this will be a real case that we can select many of them. No, every day is full of situations that the management is trying or taking decisions, and the quality team is supporting to understand the impact of that decision. No? This was a specific case for a big organization that is having really huge impact to end users. But as I said, we have different type of companies, and all of them are facing these situations to decide what to do in terms of quality. So then I would like just to go through the conclusions and just take 3 main sentences that will summarize what I am presenting today and what I am sharing, because I will not like to say that I am presenting, but I am sharing based on our experience. No? So then the first thing that we consider for implementing quality is that this needs to be done top-down. And I will add here that nowadays we are facing the situation that really the top management and the high level of the organizations are considering software quality teams as the key elements in order to ensure quality and the development of their business in the good direction. Our recommendation then as a conclusion is that the organization should move from the concept beyond PMO that will say just project management, only thinking in 3 basis to a more QMO, that is really project management based on quality, considering the quality and the efficiency on quality as the key element for success. And then, as a final conclusion, I would like to say that probably, depending on the area worldwide, there are companies, there are teams, group of organizations of people that are working in models for implementing this quality. And what we want to share is that we have identified a model that is helping us to maximize the project productivity by using a central team handling the project based on real evidences, based on the registering into the tools and standard framework tools from the end-to-end of the project, thinking in the automation as the key element, and finally considering that the end customer is the final the key element for ensuring quality. For that reason, it's needed that this QMO team understand the end users, and in the case that is possible to involve in the decisions for the quality, involve them in order to share and understand really what they think when each one of the different decisions are taken. And I think that's will be all from our side today. I will be really glad to review your questions and see if we can share our experience and solve the questions that you have.
Thank you so much, Inma. It has been a delight listening to your presentation. We can start with the Q&A now. We have 15 minutes. You can make use of the chat box to leave your questions there, and we can read it out for you.
Yep.
Okay, here is a question from Aldin. How can a commitment to quality drive innovation and continuous improvement within an organization?
So for me, it's how to get the commitment is what I said. In the end, we need the top management level involved in quality. If they are not open or they are not able to understand the quality, I think the commitment into the organization will not arrive. The point is that this need to be presented. So the situations that we have and the impacts that the different decisions that are taken in terms of project management are done need to be presented openly to the high-level management in order to them understand what we see as quality team. Because we as quality team, we are able to see where the impacts are, but they are not able to see. So what we need to do is really to take the time to prepare a way to share to the high level which are the impacts that we foresee. Because when we are convinced and we can transfer that, we will get immediately the commitment from the top level. And by taking this commitment from the top level, the organization will give this. If we are not able to achieve to the high level management to understand really the impacts that we foresee, then I think it's really difficult to consider the commitment. So our first step as quality team is to present and transfer in a good way, in a way that the top level management can understand the impacts. Because when we do this first step and they are able to do it, the commitment for the complete organization is going to be there in terms of quality. I can share this based on my experience. So I realized that, and the truth is that when you have the time to go there and present, they really see the impact. But we always need to present that the way how this is impacting finally the end users, because the end users are really the key of the quality. And when the top management see that, they are able to get this commitment.
All right, thank you so much, Inma. I have a question by Matt for GSDC. Can you please provide information on the geographical distribution of your partners? Yes, our partners are, we have a global range of partners. Most of our partners come from the African regions and from the Asian region. We also have some partners from Europe. So if you would like to have a look, do have a look at our website. You will find the partners page and all the details will be there. And yes, I hope that will suffice your answer. Next question is by Mani. What certification courses you suggest the PMO and QMO teams? What continuous awareness courses you suggest to top management?
Yeah, so for in terms of certification, I think it's quite important that we consider that that this QMO team is an evolution of a PMO. So in terms of project management, we know that there are standard certifications like PMP and so on. So I think this is a basis that need to be there. But additionally to the basis for project management, we need to include certification in terms of testing. You know, there are many of them, like even GSDC is providing certification of that, and we have also different certification of in terms of testing, for example, also like ISTQB and so on. So these type of certifications that are provided, oriented to quality and testing, and now to agile management, agile project management, and automation testing and so on, are really welcome in order that this QMO team it's receiving for improving the quality skills.
Okay, thank you so much. Here, Anand, he asked, how do we promote QMO across globe?
So how we can promote QMO, sorry?
Yes, he asked how we can promote QMO across the globe, so across the world, I suppose. Yes.
Yeah, so I think this is a personal view, okay? This is what I think, and what I think is that when we believe in something and we are able to live that, we will promote along the world. So I think it's quite important that everybody that is aligned in quality and that they see that this view of moving from PMO to QMO, it's thinking in that. I think we should share a community where this type of experience are presented. In the end, this is just a view and a concept, and we are sharing with you. We can call it in a different way, in a different model, but the point is what I mentioned, no? Is moving from project management to really quality project management, and most of the people that are involved in this type of sessions and communities are thinking in quality as really the key value for the organizations. So we can do presentations like that one. We can, into our customers, introduce the concept and the model. We can distribute into the LinkedIn, create groups of that, no? And this is making that the concept is going to become global, no? And to understand that every country, every organization, it's really needing quality, because it's the truth. And I think when someone believes in what is presenting like that, we will manage that this is distributed along the world.
Awesome. So another question by Anand. He says, do you see QMO only for SW applications or for all type of organization?
I really see for all type of organizations. Yeah, I was just orientating into the, let's say, software quality, but the reality is, what I said is, at the moment, every organizations require software and the digital solutions in order to provide good solutions to the end customer, the end users, and so on. So the quality is not only to think in the software life cycle of the project, but also to consider every single activity which is impacting the end users. And as I mentioned, the quality skills are going to see the impacts to the end customers. So the approach should be not only apply for software quality, but can be extended to all levels of organizations. And this will be, let's say, our view. And what I will also share is the real experience that we are getting at the moment. So because companies for the different industries are asking us for support on ensuring quality for their own customer, independent if they are doing specific software developments or they are just implementing a solution that then they don't know how it works and so on. So in the end, I think it can be approached to all the organizations and type of organizations.
Thank you, Inma. We still have some more time for questions. If anyone has more questions, please feel free to use the chat box. And we will be having a quiz round again after this Q&A. So do stay with us to grab a chance to win a $400 worth GSDC certification. We will also be announcing the winners of yesterday's quiz. So do stay with us. We'll just wait another few minutes. Okay, here is a question by Mujib. What are the key KPIs of QMO organization need to track?
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the keys KPI becomes for the end user. And the end user, we can measure based on end user satisfaction. So this is, in my opinion, everything oriented to the end users, the key KPIs that we need to receive based on their satisfaction, what they are really saying, what are really the requests that they have, or even which are really the issues and the problems that they are facing. No? So from one side, we have qualitative and quantitative. From the quantitative, we can measure how we were impacting in terms of errors to the end users. But additionally, for the qualitative, we can receive their feedback and the end user satisfaction. And I think these two are key KPIs that the PMO should consider. Additionally, we then can think in the standard KPIs that the PMO has, no? That will measure the quality from the beginning, let's say, of the project or the program. But in terms of QMO, the KPIs are always related to the end user.
Great. Thank you so much again, Inma. We can take one more question if anyone has. You can also join our LinkedIn group if you missed out on any questions. So another question by Mani. What is the role of ethics, conformance, communication, and top management involvement towards achieving quality excellence and sustainability?
Yeah, so this is a really interesting question. Yeah, so the role it's really the key for ensuring that we can transfer the quality excellence into the organizations. So we really need to have skills for communication and also to ensure the communication to the top management. So it's not only to communicate into the organizations, but the communication should be done at the top management. So therefore, the role should be divided into the part for ensuring a good communication with the high-level management, and then good communication within the different teams and employees. So these two parts need to be considered, because it's not the same to communicate with an employee working in a specific area than really to communicate with the top management, no? And these skills and these roles need to be considered.
All right. If anyone has any question, last chance. We'll wait for 1 minute. You can ask your questions, and then we'll move on to the quiz round. You can also make use of our LinkedIn group to ask your questions. Mani is here again.
I see the question, no? Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's asking, do you think bottoms up
approach? I will ask in that my personal view is that only bottom ups is not working, because at least this is my experience, and it's really difficult to align the complete bottom, and the bottom is the highest part of the organization. So the effort that the quality team has to do to ensure a bottom alignment to go up, it's really is really huge. Therefore, the approach that I'm presenting is from top to down, because also the effort it's not as highest as by going bottom up, because also we need to think that usually the quality teams are not really big teams. They are not like development teams, no, that they in the organization they are big. They are a support team that is really even for big organizations, 3 or 4 persons working on quality, no, and the effort required in order to align the complete bottom of the organization to move up, it's too much for this type of dimension of the team.
All right, thank you so much, Inma. With that, we will end the Q&A session for today. Thank you so much again for that insightful presentation, for the whole Q&A session, for answering all the questions so superbly. We will see you again. I believe we will see you again for another event. Again, thank you always for your support, and also to Lorena, who is always supporting us for your schedules, everything. It's been wonderful with you. Before we head on, do you have any closing remarks for today?
Just to thank you also for inviting us to this great presentation, because we take this as a good time to share our experience and to find people that is really having the same direction that we have, no, in trying to improve quality over the world. And then I'm really happy always to participate. We are really happy always to participate, and we hope that we can really move the quality along the world, because it is in our hands, I would say.
Wonderful. So thank you so much again to you and Lorena, and to all the participants. To those who could not have their questions answered, please do follow Inma on LinkedIn. Her profile is shared on the chat box, and also you can make use of our LinkedIn group to share about your questions and discuss more as well.